What are you guys expecting from Wales v Ireland in Cardiff? How does Warren Gatland set Wales up technically in terms of personnel to beat the Irish, do you think?
Hard one to call for me. There's no doubt about it. Chatting to Powley, chatting to a number of other people around Wales, that if there's any man for the job, it's Warren Gatland. Forget about the off-field stuff. We'll probably come on to that. It's ridiculous what's going on in the WRU.
It's a shit show, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an absolute shit show. And you know what? Poor Warren Gatland's probably been left to mop up the shit. Literally. All this stuff is overshadowing the game at the weekend. So is that a positive for Wales going into this game against the favourites, Ireland? We're talking about one of the favourites for the World Cup now in Ireland. There, talking of pressure, I've put the pressure on Ireland. There you go. Favourites for the World Cup. Get out your group, lads. Wales are a team that are so, well, we know from my history, it's such a hard team to call and it's such a hard team to talk about, because every time they're under pressure, every time that the chips are down, every time that the podcaster, the great, I was going to say the great, I can't even do it. Every time Jim Hamilton talks about Wales, saying that they're going to struggle, they're struggling, they pull it out of the bag. Whatever reason, there's this enigma, this kind of, this energy, this like mythology around a Warren Gatland team. I can genuinely see Wales beating Ireland, right?
Really?
Yeah, I could see it. If we rock up next week and Wales have beaten Ireland, I won't be like, this is the biggest shock. Ireland shouldn't, like, if Ireland are on how they have been.
I think it's a massive shock if they win that.
You reckon?
Even with the Warren Gatland factor. Ireland are that good.
Ireland are exceptional.
But it depends if Johnny Sexton's fit.
Well, there you go. I think under Warren Gatland, in Wales, first game of the championship, massive underdogs. Think about what's gone before Wales. Last Six Nations, they got beat by Italy. Autumn Nation Series just gone, they got beat by Georgia. The energy in a lot of the stadiums was weird during the autumn. The Six Nations is different. The romance around it. We're talking about one of the most successful teams in the Northern Hemisphere, in Wales, with one of the most successful coaches of all time, with some of the players actually playing pretty well.
Yeah.
For Ospreys. Not the Dragons, but for the Ospreys.
Mate, Rio Dyer will get... I reckon Rio Dyer starts from the Dragons.
Mate, yeah, he's a good player.
He's the only one, though. Only Dragon.
Yeah, he's the only Drags. But from that perspective, of course they've got a chance. But like Goody said there, Ireland, and I've said it before, when I said, oh, they're unplayable, and then people are like, well, no one's unplayable. If you watch Ireland when they're at the very best and they've got Sexton at 10, they're unplayable. They beat the All Blacks in a series in New Zealand. Who does that? No one.
Not many. I suppose when you're looking at it with Wales, and now you talk like that, Jim, you are convincing me that there is a chance for Wales.
I'm a great salesman. Not a Delalio. I'm not a Delalio salesman who could sell. Delalio could say, this pencil here is worth £10 million. And I'll be like, I believe you, lol.
But this is the thing, though, with it. So when you look at it, you've got Ken Owens at hooker, captain, Falatau, Alan Wynne-Jones, Adam Beard, Jack Morgan in the back row, Tipperick.
Bigger.
Chunza as well in the forwards. Yeah. Dan Bigger. George North will play 13. Josh Adams. They have a plethora of top-class players who obviously under Wayne Pivac weren't performing anywhere near their potential. It's interesting. I said it last week. The Welsh regions, apart from the Dragons, have had an uplift in their performance level since Warren got the job. And that might not necessarily have a direct correlation, but it certainly will when they get into camp. So, yeah, actually, it's in Wales. The passion there, the noise will be huge. I think it'll be close. I think Ireland will just sneak it, but Gats is going to have a massive impact. He's a energizer of a team. In terms of how he sets a team up, how he motivates the team throughout the week, and how he talks to him. He's a born winner. He gets results, apart from at the Chiefs in New Zealand. So, it's going to be tough. I think Ireland will have too much, but it's mouthwatering, isn't it?
Goody, tactically, what will we see different from Wales going into this game, or what are you expecting to see?
Oh, it's interesting, isn't it? Because Warren Gatland, as Wales head coach, the way they played was called Warren Ball, wasn't it? In terms of winning the power gain line, having a Jamie Roberts up the middle, having a Falatau around the corner, and it was just hard, abrasive rugby, solid kicking platform. And then when the numbers were down in defence, then open it up a bit. But I just think Alex King, they'll try and play a bit differently. obviously Kingy's the attack coach. I think with a new coach, you go back to basics. So Warren goes back to what he knows. We've seen how the Lions were set up for their games when he was head coach there. They're not just going to come out the blocks and chuck it around, but they'll have the fundamentals again of a Warren Gatland coach team. So Bigger at 10 is the man that controls it. He can play in a way. And what I love about Dan Bigger, when he was at Saints, he knew when to chuck it wide, knew when to play that exciting brand that those Saints boys like to play, but also he has got game management and game control up there with the best of them in the world. And when Rio Dyer's in space, he'll feed him and have that excitement. But I think it will be, to start off for Six Nations, building something under Gats that will go back to Gats' strengths. A big, powerful game with a lot of line speed and defence, and just trying to win that physical confrontation. So time will tell. But Ireland are coming with an all-court game. They can play tight, they can play hard, they can drive line-outs, they can win the set-piece battle, they can win the kicking battle if Sexton's playing. We know they can all handle 1 to 15 and put on layer of attack, to shorten up defences and find space. The ball skills across that whole group of players makes them so hard to play against and defend against. So, mouth-watering in terms of Gats' Warren Ball defensive structures up against, an Ireland all-court game. But a lot of it hinges on Johnny Sexton, as we've always said with Ireland, and hopefully he's fit.
And a lot of the Irish players are in form as well. You look at Andrew Porter, I think Ronan Kelleher is out injured, but Dan Sheehan, how good's he been as well? James Ryan, whatever second row they want to go with. Caelan Doris, my old Doris, has been on fire. Both
Van der Fleer,
Josh. Well, there you go. Like we can go around the houses with all of them. Ty Byrne as well.
Gavin Coombs might start at 8. Do you think?
Gavin Coombs, he's been carving up for Munster.
Do you reckon he starts at 8?
Don't know. What, on Doris at 6 or Ty Byrne in the second row? Well, this is what I mean. Actually, you think about it, right? If we go through this team, Jameson Gibson Park, if Sexton's fit, Ringrose has been carving up. It's their talent. Jamie Osborne at 12.
Aki, I reckon he goes with Aki, but yeah.
Aki's not been playing for Connor.
No.
I know maybe that's a good thing, but the quality they've got is just ridiculous. And they're in form as well. Like they're form players in Europe and in the URC.
So what you're saying, Jim, is that they're going to pump Wales?
I'm never going to say that again.
Why are you being horrible,
Andy Rowe, he's trying to look. He's trying to feed. He's trying to feed the fire, fuel the fire. I ain't going to say that because every time I write Wales off, maybe I should write them off, and this could be their pre-match. What do you mean, Alan Wynne-Jones looks like he's in slow? I'm not saying he looks like he's in slow motion. Refuse to say that. I think Ireland win, but I think it's going to be harder than you think.
Pod. Rugby pod.